Okay, world. Today's a bad day. It's Halloween. A lot of bad shit happened in New York. I feel really bad for New Yorkers. I really hope this isn't a false flag theory. And I hope we don't use this to go into Africa. And yes, I'm saying this on YouTube now. I think if they did use this, it would be to go into Africa to fight terrorists. More so than we are now. Oh. Oh, we got a new branch of the military. This one goes into space. RT's being attacked left and right with no evidence, no real evidence. A lot of bull crap. And so is Russia. And so is the Trump administration. You know, there's a lot of things they could impeach him for. There's a lot of things they could go after him for. This is the only one he comes up smelling like roses. Oh, Hillary Clinton, Crooked Clinton is, not smelling like roses this time. But I gotta say, as far as this terrorist thing in, New York City, in Manhattan, well, uh, it's fucked up. It feels like 9/11 again, all over again. Um, you know, how do I put it? It's fucked up, and it's because of the way our government's been doing things overseas. I mean, we haven't handled things right. We let Bin Laden live forever, and now our freedom of speech and freedom of the press is threatened. I will say this. Okay, let's say for an instant, okay, that Russia did post things out there to sway the election one way or another. Let's say they showed one politician in better light than the other. Well, guess what? That's not illegal for any news organization, and in the day that becomes illegal, we have no freedoms. Is it really that wrong? I mean, I really look at it this way. American people, are you a retard? Are you stupid? And yes, I use that word a lot with this case because that's what it is. I don't get why American people do not um, understand this. That, you know, how do I put it? You're they're putting them through it because some politicians lost the election. Well, I'm sorry, the real fact is Crooked Hillary didn't do her job, and no one would want her anyways, other than the few that did, because they didn't want Trump as president. 90% of them that did vote for her just didn't want to vote for Trump. Reality is, if you had Bernie Sanders or anyone else in there, the Democrats probably could have won against Trump. But when you put the most crooked, evil politician that this world has ever known, the biggest horror bag that this world has ever known when it comes to at least money, you had the lesser of two evils, and we didn't know about Trump at the time. we had ideas, but we weren't sure. We knew how crooked she was, how evil she is. Either way, didn't matter which president, they're both going to destroy the world. And the election wasn't rigged for once. That's why they're bitching. They thought they could beat them without rigging it. I don't think it has been rigged in the last 15 years until this time. Jesus. I mean, RT is being attacked, which is a news organization, a wonderful news organization, probably the only biased news organization. Here's an example. When RT gets up there, they put up people that go against RT, that disagree with them. And vice versa. They take both sides. You can see this because not everybody they let talk on RT is towards their views. However, you aren't going to find that in regular media. So basically, we spread out misinformation, lie, all that crap, and that's what our government does, folks. They lie, they spread out misinformation, and I have a strong fear that this is going to be a false flag theory. I'd be bold as enough to say, is this another one of our country's policies to get us into war again? Or could be an all big conspiracy? Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I don't know. At this point, I'll tell you this, growing up, I didn't know if a lot of things, there were certain things I believed and certain things I didn't. And, but with the new President Kennedy assassination thing that they were going to let out and then decided not to, well, maybe the CIA, after sitting on something for 50 years, before I wasn't quite so sure. Everybody pretty much, other than the people that were around then, forgot about it. Everybody else went for history until you said you were going to let it out and you didn't. Now we really kind of wonder. Now, at this point, I could say, is this another one of those where, the United States government, like people like in the CIA and the FBI, the lower ends, actually assassinate one of the presidents of the United States? I really don't know. I wasn't there. But, saying you're going to put it out and then reneging on it and saying, nope, I got to pull this back for national security. It was 50 years ago. If there's a national security issue about it now, that's because the government does not want to dirty their face. Back then, yeah. You could possibly say that. Now, no. There's 50 years later, there's no immediate national security incident other than we don't want to show the truth because we're afraid of, showing our hand in it. And that is the only reason the United States government would do that. And it's the only reason anyone would do that. I mean, it's common sense. You could pretty much figure it out. I know most in the United States doesn't have common sense anymore. And as Wassef used to say, common sense ain't common anymore, right, Melvin? But you know what? Come on, folks. Figure it out. Any idiot could figure that one out. Right about now, I'm actually pretty much, and I never really can believe the conspiracy theories on it, but right about now, I'm pretty much convinced on that one. That President Kennedy was assassinated by our own government. But, I mean, if it was never mentioned, I would have never thought about it. It was something I learned in school. And now I'm kind of convinced. Yeah, our government's crooked. I've known that. I've seen that. It's been out there for the last 15 years. Here's something. How about all the crooked crap and criminal crap that the Democrats have done? Let's bring more of that out in this Russian Gate scandal. Huh? Can we do this? I mean, seriously, because a lot of factual stuff have been out, and I don't know why these people haven't been prosecuted for a lot of illegal stuff that they've done, within the last 15 years, that they should have been prosecuted for and put in prison for, versus somebody forgot to tell them about bank account they might have had overseas or something like that actually had nothing to do with Russia. And the misinformation, and then the bull crap that nobody really knows unless you actually look it up or have half a brain and read stuff about, like, the Ukrainian president, who wasn't a president, she was a prime minister. I mean, come on, American people, This is all bullcrap, and we ought to see the bullcrap when we get it. And like I said, I'm don't be surprised if this new terrorist attack, due to the fact that the United States was doing some things about what if Africa did a terrorist attack, kind of similar to this attack in multiple ways. And what would we do if we went into Africa? Not too long ago, they were actually doing scenarios for that. And now it kind of happened, a month later or a few weeks later. It's just been like 3-4 weeks since I think they finished them. And this happens, and you know, is this going to be another false flag theory where we go into Africa? I'm putting this out here because, you know, it's a possibility, and if my fear of this is right, I don't actually know if this is fact, but if my fear of this is right, then if we go into Africa very soon, within the next year or so, based on this terrorist, and we use this terrorist act as an excuse, then yes, that's exactly what it is. And I'm putting it out there on social media so people have record of this in advance. All right. I'm sorry that everything happened today the way it happened. I'm upset about it as much as everybody else is that knows anything. Maybe you're not upset about the RT thing, but you should be, because it literally affects your freedom of speech and the freedom of the press, what little bit we have of freedom of the press in this country. And it sure as hell stops freedom of speech. That's just what they're attacking. And people that actually are for freedom of speech, they're not saying anything about it, and I don't know why, because they're attacking freedom of speech. And the right to privacy. There's a lot of things that are being attacked. According that will be Americans are losing. They've already lost a lot of their rights to privacy, but now they're losing even more. And don't be surprised if your family and you're just a regular American is held up while your house is searched for no reason, and cops are going in and stealing shit, and then your daughter's raped and your son's shot for trying to protect his sister from some military police force that's doing stuff like they're doing over in Iraq and Afghanistan and Syria. Oh wait, yeah, they're doing that. Don't be surprised if that's not what it turns into within the next 10 years. Get out when you can, people. Please, if you really understand what I'm saying, and if you're in as much belief as of it as I am, get out while you can. I'm working on it. But yeah, I'm sorry for today of what happened. It's a really sad thing. Question more. Watch RT. I do. I try to promote that as much as I can. I don't have anything else to say today. I'm too upset about this. So, this is me signing off. Question more. Bye.